Okay, thank you. Good morning. I'm Brad Watson. I'm with Land Planning and Development Services of Jefferson County. I will be talking with you about the permitting registration process and the inspection enforcement programs in areas where Jefferson County has authority. Please remember that all information presented today is from the perspective of the Erosion and Sedimentation Control Program regulations. There most likely will be additional documentation that you will need to obtain other registration permitting elements. The permitting process is outlined in the Jefferson County Subdivision Regulation Ordinance, which is what our Erosion and Sedimentation Control Program authority comes from. That's where our ordinance has been placed. That is under Article 13, Erosion and Sedimentation Control. By placing it in the subdivision regulations, we're able to gain the necessary enforcement authority, and also requires a review and inspection and enforcement of all sites, regardless of size. The permitting process. How do I apply for a permit? Some of the more frequently asked questions that are related to the following: who is authorized to apply, a QCP, the BMP plan, surety, that's the bond or letter of credit. Just something I want to mention right here, in supplying us with a surety, we must always have original documents. We can't take fax or copied documents. RESC workshop certification and fees. This slide illustrates the zoning approval ESC document. As you see, there's quite a bit of information that we collect. A lot of you who are already familiar with our zoning approval recognize this document. We have made the ESC part of our zoning approval document. What information, documentation, etc. do you need to bring with you when making application? We're going to go through several of these elements now. As been mentioned earlier, all construction sites must be registered. Also, for sites that are 1 acre, you may still need to apply for an 8M permit. Who is authorized to apply for registration? Per Article 13, the property owner, project manager, or any other individual who will be legally responsible for the site. However, note the regulations require that the property owner must provide written authorization for the county to enter upon the property for inspection purposes. As such, the property owner or their designated agent must actually sign the registration approval form as well. BMPs. The BMP plan, there are essentially two types of plan. There's the single family dwelling, and then there's also the commercial plan. BMPs have been discussed earlier in this program. Surety. The amount of surety in Jefferson County is $3,000 per disturbed acre, or portion thereof. Currently, Jefferson County may accept only two forms of surety. One, a letter of credit from a financial institution with a physical presence in Jefferson County, or a surety from a bonding company styled in favor of Jefferson County. Or you may also have, you may also be a qualified credentialed inspector through the Home Builders Association of Alabama or this workshop. If you wish to receive a conditional approval on your site before stabilization, it will require you to post a performance bond in addition to any bond that you may have been required to post as part of the initial registration. Inspections. You are required to keep on site all inspection logs, which are subject to copies of BMP plans, any accidental discharge reports, and your monthly site reports. There are two types of inspections that our field inspection staff perform. One, which is the reconnaissance inspections, which is just as it states, is just a general review of the site, and a more intensive site review inspection, which looks at all of these records. How much is this going to cost? For single-family residential, we have the grading ESC permit, which is $100, a mobile home, which is $100, a single-family home, which is $100. For commercial sites, you will need to call. There's different pricing that may include plan review fees and other such costs. Enforcement and inspection. What to do and when to do it. Your BMPs must be installed and completed first. You need to call our office at least 5 days prior to inspection. And please remember that this number that you're calling is a different group than your building inspector who you may be calling for your footing inspection. Inspectors are looking for and can ask for any of these items. They are looking for the permit placard to be posted on site. They're looking for proper installation and maintenance of BMPs. They're looking for verification of site records, looking for compliance of site, and stabilization of disturbed areas. What the inspector leaves on site, they first sign the placard, that is the yellow card that's given to you over in the zoning office, and they will also leave a job site inspection form. This is an example of the job site inspection form that we leave on each visit. Again, the inspectors that are out visiting your site are the zoning inspectors and also all of the building trade inspectors. Each visit that they make, they leave one of these documents on site. What if your site is not in compliance? We actually have 3 different levels of, or intensities, if you will, of violations. The first is a notice of violation. The owner designated agent is notified and given 10 days to correct the violation. The next, a little bit more severe intensity, is the cease and desist. A stop work order is issued, and your certification may be suspended or revoked. And our third most intense is if we actually issue a stop work order in which all activity must stop and your certification would be revoked. Failing to call at least 5 days prior to the pouring or a footing of a foundation could result in a delay in getting your approval of your footing from the building inspector or the placement of the mobile home, and quite importantly, could lead to a delay in getting your certificate of occupancy on your project. What if you need a certificate of occupancy before stabilization? Again, this is a conditional issue. You would need to post an additional surety. And again, we must have the original documents. That concludes my presentation. Again, all of this relates to obtaining a permit of registration in unincorporated Jefferson County. Anybody have any questions? Okay, thank you.